News Channel 5 on your side presents Kaleidoscope, focusing on people who make a difference in Northeast Ohio communities.
Hello, everyone. Good to have you with me today on Kaleidoscope, another edition of Kaleidoscope. Tony Sias is the new president and CEO at Karamu Theater. He's here today to talk about the mission, the programs, and the services of that organization, and will share his vision for Karamu. Later on, we'll hear from Dr. Rachel Talton. She'll tell me about the Flourish Conference for Women in Leadership. And on the broadcast later today, Chris Marvel will share information from his new book called Love Laws. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Leon Bibb. This is Kaleidoscope, and so we beginning with another one of the good people in Cleveland, Tony Sias, President and CEO of Karamu. Good to see you, Tony.
Good to see you as well, Leon.
I know you've just been named as President and CEO of Karamu fairly recently, but you've been around town doing theater for a long, long time, so it's working out well for you?
Going quite well. I've been welcomed and received by a great group of individuals at Karamu and, of course, the board and the community.
Yeah, this is the 100th year of Karamu, so that means something if they select you on the centennial year.
Yes, it does. It's a privilege and honor to serve as president and CEO.
Yeah.
And this work really is about working with the community to celebrate the contributions and the importance of Karamu for the past 100 years, but establishing a new vision for the next 100 years.
And you do this through theater. Theater is your thing. I mean, wonderful community theater. Wonderful community theater.
Thank you.
I'm a subscription holder. I'm there every time you change the play. I'm somewhere in the audience. I'm in the new play, whatever's going on. What's your vision for Karamu?
Well, it's to continue to create theater, but to create and produce premier, innovative theater aligned to professional industry standards, to have Karamu as a training ground for lifelong learners, that means for adults and students, so that we're developing talent in a way that they're either industry ready or college ready. That Karamu will be a first stop if you're casting, because you'll know that we have the talents and the professionals to be able to provide those services for the industry.
And you've got a wonderful year going right now.
We do have a wonderful
fantastic what's
year.
going? What do you like over there? Well, I know you like them all. I'm setting them up. But what's going on right now that you especially like?
Well, I'm excited about we're opening Black Nativity this evening. However, there's a show coming up called Detroit 67.
Yeah.
And it's a love story, but it talks about the Detroit riots in 1967. And what's exciting to me is that we're going to be able to use that show to begin to talk about the Cleveland riots of 1966 and 68, the Glenville and Huff. And it creates a community dialogue because this show is aligned to our social justice series. So not only do we want theater to serve as a form of entertainment, but education as well, to springboard the next level of community conversation and consciousness.
Yeah. You got a campaign also to raise $100,000 by January 31st. Of 2016. Tell me about that campaign.
So a community member pledged $50,000, and I said, hey, we should encourage other community members to pledge. So I said, let's just do a match. So 100 years, $100,000. So we're asking the community to donate. There is no gift too small. But those dollars will help us develop and re-envision our arts education programs, that we can buy supplies for students who may be challenged with supplies. But we want to celebrate and have a standing ovation for the end of our 100th year celebration. And let's raise $100,000 for 100 years of great service.
A few months ago, I wrote a check for Karamu, and I'm going to write a check again this evening. I'm going to go home and pull out the checkbook. I'm going to write a check and send it to Karamu.
We're excited.
See, because I'm really thrilled with what you've been doing. I've been going to Karamu ever since I was a kid growing up here in Cleveland. You have had many alums come through Karamu who've gone on to international fame on the theatrical or the movie stages.
Correct. Yes,
wonderful people.
Wonderful people. Just most recently, James Pickens, who is a star on Grey's Anatomy, was here doing a project called Home. And the play Home was a part of a project we do called Project One Voice, where theaters around the country perform or do a stage reading of the same play at the same time. And that was really exciting. So James is only one example of the incredible talent that was honed and developed and nurtured at Karamu, and then doing great things in the world of theater and television and film.
I want to put a phone number on the screen where people can get more information or contact the box office and buy tickets for the rest of the season. 216-795-7070. You can find more information on everything we're talking about, or you can go to karamuhouse.org, karamuhouse.org. And Karamu, it is Swahili.
Yes.
The Swahili language, which means
a place of joyful gathering.
And that's what it's all about.
Yes, it is.
Joyful gathering. Leave us with a thought on why you see this as so vital, especially this 100th year. We've got a minute remaining in our section here. Why this is so vital for Karamu to stay strong and stable at East 89th Street and Quincy Avenue.
Because it's an anchor of the Cleveland community. We have great institutions celebrating 100 years, but our mission originally was to bring people together from all walks of life to celebrate and create art, but to also be able to serve the community in multiple ways. So in this next 100 years, our vision is for the community to re-engage with us, to trust us, to come back to the house. You know, when we think about Karamu House, people should think of two houses in this country, the White House and then Karamu House, because it is a place where the community should be to celebrate all that we have in Cleveland. We are one of the most important institutions in America, being the oldest African-American theater company. And when we say that, we say the African-American experience is an integrated experience. So it's an American experience. And we just want to say Karamu is here to stay and establishing a new vision for the next 100 years.
Good to have you on the broadcast as always. Well said.
Thank you very much.
Well said. My good friend Tony Sias, President and CEO of Karamu, actor in his own right. Been on stage 1,000 times. Good to see you.
Thank you very
my
much.
friend. And I'll see you back. I'll be sitting on the aisle somewhere.
Fantastic.
In the darkness, watching greatness on stage. Karamu. I love it. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
I'll take a break in just a moment. We'll return. The Flourish Conference for Women in Leadership will be our subject. We'll hear from Rachel Talton after this. Well said. Good to have you with us on Kaleidoscope. Let me tell you about the Flourish Foundation. It's gearing up for the 2016 Flourish Conferences for Women in Leadership. Dr. Rachel Talton is the CEO of Synergy and the Flourish Foundation, and she's here to tell us about the organization and how it's impacting women leaders all over the place. Good to see you, Rachel.
Good to see you again, and thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Tell me about Flourish. What is Flourish?
One of my favorite topics to talk with you about and others. So I'll just give you a little bit of context. Our goal is to transform the lives of high-achieving women, 10,000 of them by 2020.
Yeah.
And in doing so, we create ripples for women entrepreneurs, emerging women leaders, and girls aged 14 to 19.
Yeah.
And the way that we do this is through our conferences. We inspire, educate, engage, and immerse these women in ways in which they flourish and prosper, ways in which they take the golden mask off, our mask of perfection.
The golden mask.
The golden mask. Yes. And we really dig into the work of how to grow luxuriantly in our work, our careers, and our lives.
It's positive thought.
Yes.
You're talking about positive thought.
Yes.
It starts at a very young age.
It does.
You want girls to understand
Absolutely.
this before they get into womanhood.
Absolutely.
They need to understand this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you've got these Flourish conferences.
Yes.
Those are the topics that are covered in your Flourish conferences?
So, yes, those are the topics that are covered in our conference. About 2.5 years ago, Leon, I looked in the mirror beyond my own golden mask, because we all wear them.
What's the golden mask? Now,
So the golden mask is high-achieving women. We have a tendency to contribute more, be more. You know very well. You you have a home that is run by a woman who ensures that you and your family are well.
Yeah.
We do that in our workplaces, in our communities, and in the world. And we know that when women flourish, the world flourishes. And so Flourish is really a safe space for these high-achieving women to take off this mask of perfection and really understand what it is that we're up to, what's our purpose, what's our passion, how can we do more, contribute more, and truly give back to ourselves while we're giving back to the community.
And you've got these conferences. You got conferences coming up. Anything coming up soon?
We have a couple of things coming up soon. I have a book coming out called Flourish, Have It All Without Losing Yourself. So we'll be doing a book signing here.
And I've got a photograph here.
Yes,
we'll get
you
a shot
do.
on camera number
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And this is going to be the cover of the book.
So excited about
Woman
it.
looks familiar there.
Yeah.
I think I know her.
Who is that?
Yeah, who is that? I think that's Rachel Tall.
Yes,
Rachel.
indeed.
That's the cover, huh?
Yes, indeed. And so in this book, we talk about actually the reason we started Flourish is I took off that golden mask. And really, it's about high-achieving women wanting to be perfect for the world. And so I wanted to create a safe space for women to do the real work of flourishing themselves. And then I looked out into the marketplace, Leon. In the marketplace, we see that although when women are in leadership positions in organizations, they outperform their competitors by 26 to 60%. That's a bottom line reality, so we need to do more to promote women in the marketplace.
And they've got to feel positive
and
about
they've got to feel positive.
Obviously, you
I do.
Looking at this here, you don't have a problem with feeling positive about yourself.
That's right. But they also have to have the tools and resources, the research and the strategies to do so. And so this is what we provide both for our corporate partners to create those environments for women to flourish, as well as for the women themselves.
How do people hook up to get involved with Flourish, with your conferences and with everything else that you've got going?
Absolutely. So we just wrapped up the 2015 year in Washington, Indianapolis, and Cleveland. Next year, we're going to be in the same cities, Washington, Indianapolis, Cleveland, and we're adding Chicago. We're very excited about that.
And you're based here in the Northeast Ohio.
We are based here in Northeast Ohio. Here in Cleveland, Flourish sells out within 2 weeks. So as soon as we release the dates, we want people to definitely get involved. In the interim, there are ways in which they can get involved as well. The Flourish Collective. They can give Michelle Miller a call. You're going to share the telephone number and email address. In order to get involved in our online community, we have retreats. We also have luncheons with world-class VIP speakers from all over the world.
We got a phone number, 440-773-3061 on the screen, or you can go to mmiller@flourishleaders.com.
Absolutely.
mmiller at
flourishleaders.com, and she'll give you all of the information.
You brought something now. What's this represent here?
So this is a gift that I have for you. Since the book is coming out, Flourish, Have It All Without Losing Yourself is coming out after the holidays. January 19th will be published. We wanted to put together a holiday gift basket, and I wanted, before I take off for Italy this weekend, I wanted to give you a gift of flourishing. This is a copy of the cover of the book. You'll also receive the actual book signed, and some other gifts for you to flourish. So bath tools, men's facial creams and lotions. You need to flourish as well.
Men need to flourish as well.
Yes, we have a basket for women, which is fabulous.
We appreciate that, but this is all, and we appreciate that, but it's all representative of what we're
ways in which you can flourish. And I'd like to share with you,
quickly,
as a science geek, there's 6 dimensions of our lives in which we flourish. Our relationships, our work and our wealth, our spiritual foundation, right? And our self-care, being of service, and what legacy are we leaving behind. And in all of those areas, we have to make sure that we are filling our cup daily and that we are giving back to the community around us. And that is how women flourish, and extraordinary men as well.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Rachel. Always good to see you.
Such a pleasure
always
to see
positive. We'll take a break right now, but I'll be right back in just a moment. It's always good to see you. You're in touch with Kaleidoscope. I'm always glad to have you with me on this broadcast. Author Chris Marvell joins me today. He's going to talk about his new book entitled Love Laws, in which he gives practical advice on how to have a great love life. Good to see you, Chris.
Oh, it's good to be here, Leon.
Yeah. What was your inspiration for writing the book Love Laws?
You know, it's interesting. I mean, number one, it's my amazing wife, you know, who really helped this whole inspirational piece. She has inspired me to continue to be the best husband I can be. And I wanted other people to, you know, live that same life and to overcome the basic obstacles that they run into in early dating or early marriage.
Yeah, you're from Cleveland.
I'm from Cleveland.
Yeah. How long are you and your wife, Jasmine, right?
Jasmine.
Yeah, how long are you and Jasmine married?
Me and Jazz have been married now 5 years. I got a beautiful 2-year-old baby boy, and so I kind of know the beginning ends and the 5-year mark.
Yeah. Tell me about Love Laws now. Well, what's Love Laws try to get us to do?
So I wrote 7 laws, 7 principles, as it were, on love. And so I wrote, you know, about chasing love, not lust. I wrote about making your words work for you and communication. I mean, most of your relationship, in any sense, whether it's friendship, mom and dad, whatever it may be, has to do with communication. One of the main points I wrote about is social media and dating. I mean, it's 2015 now. When you and I, you know, I mean, I'm 31, so I guess you and I...
I'm a couple of years older than you.
But we were, you know, when I remembered, you know, dating, and I remember being on the cordless phone. You know, the cordless phone in the house, or my grandmother had a rotary phone and talking on the phone to somebody that I was interested in. Now, you get on social media and you see 500 photos before you even say hello to someone. So it's really changed the complexities of how we meet people and how we really interact in the long term.
Makes it more difficult or easier?
I think it's a mixture. I think it can make it more difficult because you're a little jaded up front if you see some things you don't like about someone, or maybe you can be intimidated early by someone's social presence online. But it also makes it a little easier because you know what you're getting into ahead of time.
Let me read what you've got on one of your, law number 2. When you find someone you're interested in, you should keep your relationship off of social media for at least 180 days.
Yes, sir.
Don't go to Facebook and tell everybody.
Don't tell nobody.
I'm dating.
Don't type nothing. Put the mouse away. Because when you actually put your information on social media early, you allow vultures to come in. Everyone, I mean, surprisingly, everyone doesn't want to see you happy.
Right.
So when you put your information, your new love life, something you're interested in, there are people who, from the outside, they want to come in and step on it and, you know, make sure that you're not flourishing, you know, you're not happy. So you have to protect that.
You also said, before you touch a body, caress the heart with your care. Mind your words and use your eyes on their attention.
Yes, so essentially what I'm saying is that early on, a lot of us in our 20s, you know, in our early 30s, we spend a lot of time casually dating, and so many people make the mistake of being in and out the bedroom, you know, and just in and out, just kind of messing up, you know, the heart, the matters of the heart. So now, when you're really ready for love, man, you've been in so many bad relationships and made so many poor choices that, you know, you don't have clarity to know what's good, what's lust, and what's love.
Did the older generation have it right? I mean, they seem to done okay without all this social media. Even some, well, you can go back to, people have been getting together long before telephones were invented. I mean, this goes way back to Adam and Eve.
Absolutely.
They got together and they found a way.
Yes.
They communicated with each other.
Yeah, they found a way, and, you know, I mean, even, you know, my grandmother, she says all the time, you know, she met her husband at 16 years old, and you know, you got to think back then, there really was a lot of phone usage, if any at all. You know, there wasn't any phone usage. If you wanted to see someone, you had to get in your car, drive 2 miles down the road and talk to them. But now we over-communicate. And we talk so much to each other that we end up talking about things that my grandmother said you shouldn't be talking about anyway. And so now you have to find a healthy balance of how to communicate with someone while still wanting to learn who they are. Because if you do too much communicating too early, you end up, your heart's not ready for all that you're trying to give over to them.
Where can we find the book Love Laws?
You can find the book on thelovelaws.com. You can also find it on Amazon as well. So yeah, I mean, the book is everywhere.
It's everywhere, but it's called the Love Laws, the rules of love and relationships in the 21st century. Everything's changed in the 21st century.
It's changing.
It's still changing.
It's already changing.
And do you call upon your own successes with your wife, Jasmine?
Yes, so, I mean, one of the major things is that I'm able to write the book because I'm not only just won in my relationship, but I've also had some losses. I've had some failures, and, I don't think that any real relationship is one without failures. And so I write about a lot of that. I put my life and my heart and my soul into that book, and you'll be able to see that once you start reading it.
The book is called The Love Laws, and you can find more information. You can find it on thelovelaws.com, or you can go to amazon.com. The Love Laws, written by Chris Marvell. He's our guest today, author of Love Laws, The Rules of Love and Relationships in the 21st Century. Good to have you with us, my friend.
Thank you, Leon.
Take care, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Be well. And tell Jasmine we said hi. Your wife, Jasmine. Okay,
thank you.
I'll take a break. I'll be right back with Samia Bray of the Urban League of Greater Cleveland after this. Time for the morning exchange section of Kaleidoscope, and that means Samia Bray of the Urban League of Greater Cleveland. She's Senior Director of Emerging Programs. Good to see you, Samia.
Good to see you too, Leon. I have to say, what a wonderful show today.
Yeah, we had a good one.
Wow, Karamu, the Flourish Foundation, and love all universal things.
Yeah, Love Laws.
Love Laws, wow, great things. Well, I'm here today to just give a quick update on MyCom. We talk about it during the year. And so this year, the Urban League was able to provide training for about 250 youth professionals, serving collectively thousands of youth in Cleveland. So it was a great year for us.
And you call it MyCom.
Yes, MyCom is my commitment to my community. It's a movement to provide positive youth experiences for young people who are doing things after school.
Yeah. And what do you have them do? What do they learn when they come through these?
Well, here's the interesting thing. The Urban League actually trains the direct service providers who work with the children. So we empower them to empower the children.
One of the things, when Marcia and I have talked about this for years, Marcia Maccabee, who's the president of the Urban League, she's away today, and you're sitting in for her. We've talked about the importance of youth. Getting into the pipeline of education, getting into the pipeline of employment, and not just getting jobs downrange, but getting careers downrange.
Absolutely.
This fits in with what you're talking about.
Yes, because young people are in school during the day, and then after school they have to go somewhere. And so what we do is provide training for those who impact their lives in those hours after school. So those hours, one decision could change a life. In those hours, those young people, positive things are being poured into their lives so that as they move down those paths you talked about, they become citizens that make our world better.
You've talked about that. We've talked about that. That one key decision. You can make a bad decision that will affect you for the rest of life.
Your life.
Or you make a good decision that can affect you for the rest of your life.
And that's
what it's all about. You try to get them to thinking about those kinds of things.
Indeed.
Okay. 622-0999 is the phone number for the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, located at East 30th Street in Prospect. That's going to do it for us. I'm Leon Bibb. Be well.
This has been a presentation of News Channel 5's Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland.